for Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys, Mike Hill and Renee Guerra. Changing lives one day and $1 at a time.
This is Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys. I'm Valerie Crowder, filling in for Jim Phillips. Joining me in studio today is financial advisor with Hill & Associates, Mike Hill, and Dynamic Yoga for Love studio owner, Lisa Ware. Unfortunately, Renee Guerra can't join us today, but that's all right because the theme for today's segment is empowering women, which makes sense considering Mother's Day is tomorrow. And, Mike, I bet you never thought women would outnumber men on this program, huh?
I like your little... Hey, you know, it wouldn't be Life and Money Matters, by the way, if we didn't have a technical difficulty. So I'm glad that we're just right on par for course.
Exactly, as character.
I think I'm a pseudo estrogen carrier because I have 3 sisters and I have 8 nieces. I've got 2 daughters, a wife, and of course even my dog's a female. So I'm not saying I have the female perspective, but I'm pretty close living with it my entire life. So I'm very excited about doing the Mother's Day edition of our show today.
Well, very good. Sounds like you've got a lot of experience, and I'm sure you've got something already for your wife and your mother and grandmother and all the women who are mothers in your family.
Well, no comment at this time. To be determined at a late. Yes, of course. I have flowers on speed dial at my house. So yeah. And I'd like to definitely welcome Lisa. Known Lisa for a long while here, not too long, but 3 or 4 years. So I'd like to welcome her to the show for filling in for Renee.
Yes, very good. And I understand that you guys both have some events coming up that you'd like to discuss. Lisa, I know you've got lots of great things going on in your studio in Red Oak.
Especially for Mother's Day, which is a really appropriate time for me to be able to pop over and fill in for Renee. A little quick shout out. I know that Renee is listening.
Saw a lot of bikers this morning. There's some bike race over there.
Yeah, actually, it's Head for the Hills in Cedar Hill, which is wonderful. I have a couple friends that are doing, there's a man and his son are doing their first, he's doing 60 miles. His son is only 10. He's doing 10 miles today.
10 years old and doing 10 miles?
10 years old,
wow,
yeah.
That makes me feel like a complete loser.
Wow, that's
It's
crazy.
amazing, though, when you put your mind into something and you really focus your energy towards it, then, it really becomes something that if it's something that you enjoy, it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, the things that we have coming up for Mother's Day, like you were mentioning, Valerie, we have a really wonderful thing, maybe gets you out of the speed dial and the flowers, is a speed dial gift certificate to the spa.
Yeah. Wife would like that, but she'd drag me there, unfortunately. Maybe that's what I need to be doing as well. So, gosh, man, I get rid of Renee, who rides all those bikes. Then we got Lisa in here. It's like, man, I'm never going to get out of doing some type of physical activity with the 2 people on the show. But that's great. That's exactly what I need.
Exactly. And, I mean, that all ties in to empowering yourself not only with your time and managing that well, but, in money, too. And I think we were talking about some interesting things last week. Mike, do you want to recap some of that? Yeah,
we were talking last week. We had a couple of callers, actually. Technical difficulties on one of them, of course, but last week we were talking about energy and how to invest in energy. That seems to be a hot button right now, and until they figure out how to drive these little things that we call cars on something other than oil, I think it's always going to be a good investment. So definitely, I appreciate the emails that we got from the show. Keep them coming in. The theme was basically, how do I invest in energy without being invested in the stock market, which obviously when you have something like your listeners may or may not know about, J.P. Morgan reported over $2 billion in losses in just 6 weeks on a bad trade. So everybody out there that thinks they bought a bad trade, probably just, but of course that brought down the stock market with it, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, definitely thank you for mentioning that. I know Lisa, I definitely want to make sure Lisa mentions she has some gift certificates, and you also had a class that you were doing or
something like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just talk about that really quick. I'd love to invite all the listeners to come out to our studio in Red Oak. We are on Bluebird Lane and Ovilla Road, and we have also not only hot yoga and Zumba, we have a wonderful spa. So it's a perfect opportunity to jump online to our website and grab a spa certificate for your mother or your aunt or a favorite someone. And right now they're only $39.
Well, guys, I mean, it's Saturday. That's something you can print off right now.
Yeah, you can totally just go on. It's yogaforlove.net with the number 4. And you can just go online. You can actually customize your gift certificate. It looks really cute. It'll look like you spent a whole lot of time on it. It'll take you about 5 minutes to just go in there, sign up, and print it off, or you can even email it if your mother's out of town.
All right, very good. So if any of our listeners out there have any questions at all about these events with Lisa or her gift certificates, or if you have any questions about empowering women, we'd really love to have you take part in our show today. And you can give us a call at 972-923-1390. This is KBEC's Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys, Mike Hill and Lisa Ware. This is our Mother's Day special. The theme for today's show is empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being. And Mike, I understand you have quite a few questions for me.
As a matter of fact, and I did
for us women.
And I wanted to, and before I do that, guys, after you go out and get the gift certificate on Yoga for Love website, I definitely want you to think about this Thursday. Now, this is for women only. I am holding a workshop May 17th and also May 24th. They've asked me to open it up for the following Thursday. And the theme of this workshop, believe it or not, is women in investing. I didn't do this on purpose, but it just seems like it's going to be an estrogen-filled month here. Women investing, it's basically everything you wanted to know, but maybe were afraid to ask or maybe didn't know to ask. I mean, this isn't investing one-on-one where we teach about stocks. We talk about things like, that right now 65% of wealth in the United States is controlled by women.
No way.
Not exactly. I mean,
isn't that great news?
Yeah, that is.
Wow. So anyway, that's little exactly. People, the big hitters like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett get all the press, but you know what? It sure is funny. A lot of these guys do die off eventually, and women like Lisa and Valerie outlive us, so they wind up with all the money and all the control. So anyway, and I also want to mention, Renee would kill me if I didn't mention this. He happens to have a class going on dealing with success principles, how to work less, and how to have more vacation time and even increase your income. It's a very valuable class. And his is May 17th at Navarra College, the same exact day as mine. Now, not together, in different classrooms. And that's from 6:30 to 8:30 in Waxahachie at Navarra College. So either call Navarra College and ask for Continuing Education Department or email KDEC at info@KBEC, and we'll be able to give you that information.
So you're saying if I come out next Thursday to Navarra, I could see both you and Renee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
now,
very cool.
I may be trying to persuade you to go into mine versus his or something like that, and saying that mine's better. No, but
But I mean, I don't know. Renee's sounds pretty competitive, Mike, teaching people how to make money and not work.
Well, maybe if we get enough women in there, I can tempt everybody, and Lisa don't kill me with cookies or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
No promises. I can't promise that on the air.
No, I bet both workshops are very informative and very helpful. So we encourage all of our listeners to, find out more information about those workshops, and if you have room in your schedule, to attend those.
If you'd like, I could mention a workshop that we have for families coming up in the summer.
Okay.
This would be a good time to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, and since we're talking about workshops, if you're interested and you're a listener out there that maybe you have kids and your kids are consistently wanting to buy Doritos and Mountain Dews, this is a workshop for you. So your kids are going to be home for summer. We're looking at what are we going to do? We're going to go to Costco and stock up on fruit roll-ups,
double stuffed Oreos,
or can we get some other options? So we're going to have a healthy snacks for families class as part of my 90 Days to Feeling Fit program. And over the summer, we just have a 3-course series.
Oh, wow.
So it's the second Sundays of the month from 3 p.m. to 4:30. And the first one is going to be the second Sunday in June. It's at my studio at 558 Bluebird. And you can come in, and we're going to provide a grocery list. It's only $15 per family. We're going to actually take and make snacks.
Wow.
So healthy snacks for families. You can just learn some really cool stuff you can do.
Perfect time for the summer, too.
Perfect time.
Exactly.
Stock up your cabinet.
Kids are going to be at home eating nothing but Oreos and Goldfish crackers
Right.
all day.
So, women, we have the power of the pocketbook and the shopping cart.
I just said
So-
65% of wealth is controlled by
If you
women.
don't bring it home, they're not going to eat it, people.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, Costco's kind of the devil in my house.
There's so many things that you can get there that are good choices. So part of it is creating a good grocery list. And it's part of this course. And you can actually sign up for it at yogaforlove.net.
All right, very good. And why don't you go ahead and repeat the date for that course, when you're going to have that?
Okay, it's the second Sunday of June,
Okay.
which is going to be the 10th, from 3 p.m. to 4:30.
All right, very good. And, of course, you can find out more about that. And, again, if you have any questions at all, we encourage you to give us a call here at KBEC Station 972-923-1390 or send us an email, info@kbec.com. Now, the theme for today's show, Mother's Day Special, empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being, is very interesting, very pertinent with Mother's Day coming up. And as you were saying, Mike, women controlling the majority of the wealth, we'd like to find out, what women can learn and what they can teach about personal finances. And I understand you have some pretty good information on that.
I think that's a great word that you said, not just learn about finances. I think as a man that's done this for 16 years and being a certified estate planner, I've learned a lot just from tendencies of women. For example, in the stock market, which listeners know, I'm not a big believer in stock market investments. I'm a big believer in alternative investments. I think the stock market, there's always a winner and there's always a loser, and it just seems like the little man investor is always the loser. But I won't get into that. But men tend to be very, for lack of a better word, they won't admit a mistake as quickly as a woman. I know, go figure. God, I know the guys are going to hate me today. You're going to not only, but
there's a lot of women that'll stick to good.
But I'm just saying, it's Mother's Day special. But what I mean by that is a guy will buy a stock, and then if the thing goes down 10%, and I've heard this a million times, can't go down farther than that. Well, women are not as emotionally tied to it. It's more about let's just go on. Let's move on to the next one. I'm not going to write.
That's where you come in.
Exactly. That's where. But when compared to men, women seem to be better at investing. And this isn't from me. This is from a study done by Forbes magazine. And they're more likely to participate, believe it or not, in a retirement plan. And I think the belief of that is because men, it is not a fun subject having to think about our own mortality. You have a husband, Lisa. I'm a husband. I'm the big bad daddy. I'm the breadwinner. I come in and I'm the tough guy. The last thing I want to think about is my own mortality and all that. Well, women are the nurturers.
Can I give you another perspective, too?
Please, that's
why maybe women might be more in that boat is because women also are more visionaries, bigger thinkers, thinking of the full picture for the whole family. So as you think about what's coming in, well, how am I going to care for my family after I'm gone?
Well, see, and another thing that I think, too, that men kind of struggle with is more of an ego. They can be more egotistical at times, and sometimes that ego gets in the way of reason and making sure that you're right and making the right decisions for you and your family.
That happens.
Exactly, that does. And so, I always hear that joke about men. Whenever you're driving a car, men are typically the ones to get lost, and they'll never ask for directions. They'll just stay lost and try to find their way. But women will actually go and ask for the directions.
I think the inventor of Garmin had to be a woman because 99% of the Garmin voices are in female tones, and I think that was their way of going, turn left here, turn right there, because
that was that.
Exactly. We'll listen to that one. We'll listen to our wife next to us that's been there 100 times, but we'll listen to that little machine. One of the questions I wanted to ask you two ladies before the break, not to put you on the spot, you don't have to tell me exactly in detail, but I also want to ask this for the listener. And this kind of gets you into the thought process of how I can make better financial decisions. Well, the first thing you have to know is where you've been. Just like in physical, I'm not going to tell you to go out there and ride 60 miles on the bike if you've never ridden 6 minutes on a bike. First thing I would ask you ladies, and even our listeners, is what is the best financial decision you've ever made? And then to follow that up with is also what's the biggest financial decision that you regret, and what have you learned from both of them?
Wow, Valerie,
I know.
Here.
Jim definitely puts me on the spot, so I got you. I mean, and listeners, if you have a financial decision that could benefit our other listeners on what you learned from it, I urge you to call in and we can discuss it on the air. Maybe not. We can discuss it off the air and mention it. But I think that's a big thing because I'm going to bring Oprah into this, but Oprah always says you have these moments in your life that define you, and I actually agree with that.
Very true.
And it's also compared to your finances. Maybe there was something where you went and bought a used car and, oh my gosh, the thing broke down the very next day and you didn't get your money back. Well, that could be seen as a bad decision, but now it made you where you will never go shop for a new car because of that experience.
It's possible. Right.
So is there one that we'll start with a good one. Is there a good financial decision?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I would say that the best financial financial decision that my husband and I made when we first bought our house was to do a 15-year mortgage.
15-year.
Yep. And, despite what they were trying to tell us, oh, you're going to save money every month, you're going to have a 30-year, oh, you do a 20-year, you still save some money. No, we were really adamant. We wanted that 15-year mortgage because we knew we could afford the payment, and we knew it would be down low enough that, once we got our son graduated, it would be paid off.
Paid off. And now you have a roof over your head, and you're not looking at it like an investment.
Exactly.
That's Dave Ramsey talks about that in his course.
Yes, we've done some of that work.
What about you, Valerie? Not to put you on the spot here. I know you're young and starting out of college, so right now you're supposed to make a lot of bad decisions.
Exactly.
But are there any good ones in there?
But see, the great thing about making bad decisions is that you can, as you said, learn from your mistakes, because sometimes you have to experience things in order to, make the right decisions in the future. Exactly. So I think for me, probably the biggest struggle would be student loan debt. Of course, the first year of school I went into it, I took out a private loan, which was ridiculous and a very bad decision because it has an extremely high interest rate on it. And the next year I went into school, I didn't take out, I guess the good decision was I didn't take out another private loan, and I've made a vow to myself, I'm not going to do that again. But, I went back my second year and I qualified for this financial literacy program they had started at my school. And essentially what they did is they took all of the students who had the greatest amount of private student loan debt, made them take a financial literacy course, and in return gave them a $10,000 grant.
Oh, my God.
So, exactly. So it was just a great way to learn about managing your debt, how to improve your credit score. And I actually got a book about that, and it was pretty interesting to see all the people who, like me, had even worse at times financial situations, who had already gone through bankruptcy, in their mid-20s, who had done all these things. And it's scary, but that you can bounce back. Right. It just takes a lot of planning and effort. And I think, having some sort of financial advisor or somebody like that to help you can be one of the most valuable investments you can make.
If nothing else to get you on the right path. I'll tell you, and I know we're up against the break, so I'll say this real quick. I was a part of a charitable organization called SOFA. It's called the Society of Financial Awareness. And I've gone to the city of Plano, city of Allen, city of McKinney. I talked at Kraft Foods in front of 800 employees. And I would do these classes. And it was a non-profit organization that I wanted to be a part of, because go figure, I like to talk and I like to teach. But my classes on retirement planning, my classes on estate planning, maybe got 5 to 10% of the employees to come in there. My classes on how to increase your credit score, standing room only. We have 150 people in a room that only fit 100.
It's because you're dealing from coming back and repairing something versus being proactive.
Well, because in school we learned all about, and the Daily Light actually interviewed me about this on millennials, and I know we're getting off the subject, but why are millennials in such financial debt? And student loans a big one, but it's also in school we learn about, 6 times 3 is, this, and we learn arithmetic, we learn shapes, we learn isosceles triangle, but we don't learn time value of money. We don't learn what credit does for your entire life. How much, who did a budget in high school? Who had that class? But those are things that are just as essential as, chemistry and everything else. So that's why I think we need to see it more in the schools, but I love to hear that the college did that for you.
Yes, definitely. Well, this is Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys. I'm Valerie Crowder, filling in for Jim Phillips again. And on today's program, we have financial advisor Mike Hill and dynamic Yoga for Love studio owner Lisa Ware. And the theme for today's program is empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being, which fits right in with Mother's Day around the corner. Right now, we have to take a quick break, though, but we will have more from Mike and Lisa right after this.
Classic Texas, KBEC.
Welcome back. This is Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys. And we have Mike Hill in studio with us, financial advisor for Hill & Associates, as well as dynamic Yoga for Love fitness enthusiast and studio owner Lisa Ware. And we'd like anybody who has any questions about what we've been talking about. And the theme for today has been empowering women. And with Mother's Day right around the corner, that fits right in. And if anybody has any questions, we'd encourage you to participate in our show. Give us a call, 972-923-1390, or you could send us an email, info@kbec.com. And it looks like we've got our first caller. Hi, who's this?
This is Mark.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I was going to make a comment. Y'all talking about the credit score?
Yes, sir.
When I first got out of high school, I got out of high school in 80. And when I was a senior in high school and first year out of high school, the only thing I could think of was getting my credit score up. And one way I did it was I went to my local bank. The first time my dad co-signed for me, I got the money, I stuck it in the savings account, and all I paid back was the interest because I had the money there to make the payments. And then the next time I did it on my own, and I didn't need my parents to co-sign. And that's how I got my credit started, by having the money in a savings account. And all I had to pay was a little bit of interest on the loan, and I didn't have to, the payments were easy, and that's how I got it started.
So you basically got a secured loan to get your credit started. Well,
and then after that, now I'm 50 years old, and now I find out that when you get hired, there's places they'll check your credit score. If your credit score ain't high enough, I guess you can't get some jobs.
No, that's very true. And Mike, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, be careful even what you put on Facebook now. For example, if you got some picture on there with lampshades on your head, you might want to be careful. It's public domain, but talking about the credit score, that's a great tip. And is it Mark?
Yes, Mark.
Mark. Yes.
That's a great tip. Another one that I have for people that are maybe graduating high school, if the parents are looking at either I have a lot of parents that hopefully they're going to A&M. If not, they can go to Texas, be A&M. But I have a lot of parents that are looking at student housing for their children, and what I advise them to do, if you can afford it, buy the house down there. I know what you're thinking, but buy a house in a college town. Put your son or daughter on the title. Put them on the mortgage. Even though you're paying the mortgage, when your son or daughter graduates, by the time they're 22, on their credit score, it's going to look like they made 4 years of mortgage payments. And that mortgage is one of the number one things on your credit score that really boosts it up. But I love your tip there, Mark. Only thing I would worry about would be the interest rate, of course. Another thing that you could do is you could always buy one of those 0% interest credit cards if you're going to do that instead of something that has an interest rate that you're paying on. But just be careful. Another thing that people don't know with credit scores is don't close all of those accounts even though you have them. It's good to have 3 or 4. It's better to have a zero balance, but sometimes your credit score can be nicked when you just cut all your credit cards up and you close all of them. So it's a good thing to have a couple of them open because it looks like you're credit worthy.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. But I find it easier also to look at a loan from a credit union or a bank because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You get a credit card, sometimes you get so much in debt you don't see that light.
That's true. That actually brings us back to the question that you had on the worst financial decision. And the financial decisions that we had when I was growing up, right when I got my first credit cards, was just to max them out. Oh, yay. And learning early in something like that is essential before you can make a lot bigger mistakes and you have a lot more potential to get a bigger line of credit and a bigger mess. But, it's really a good learning experience as long as you can recover from it.
And make no mistake, I hate credit cards. What I'm talking about is the ones that you pay a $50 annual fee for and you have a 0% rate on there. If you're going to do what Mark said and do $2,000 on it, well, then make sure that's paid off by the end of the month. I don't want you paying any interest on that credit card. If you're going to just try to increase your credit, that's your only goal, open the thing up, get the free T-shirt, but make sure it's 0% and all you got to pay is the $50 annual fee.
And I know at one point in our past conversation you had an actual website that you could go to find some of those opportunities.
Yeah, bankrate.com is a very good website to go to. It's free to find not only the highest interest-paying CD, but also to find the 0% credit cards that are out there that accept transfers.
Bankrate.com.
Bankrate, because I have a lot of people that have high credit card debt, and what I tell them to do is to do the credit card shuffle, is go find a credit card that's 0% on transfers for a year, put all your balance on there. You may not get it paid off in a year, but you're paying 0% interest.
Do it again
then a year later, go to bankrate.com, find the next one, and roll the balance over to there until it's paid off. So absolutely. But I do appreciate it, Mark. Thank you very much for your call.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. And this is KBEC's Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys. Today in studio, we have financial advisor Mike Hill and Dynamic Yoga for Love studio owner Lisa Ware. This is our Mother's Day special, and the theme for today's show is empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being. And why don't we move on to more of the physical well-being now that we've talked about, sort of financial responsibility. Why don't we move on to that, Lisa? And I apologize for calling you fitness enthusiast before, because as I understand, well, you're a fitness enthusiast, but you've sort of taken this word fitness out of what's going on in your studio. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Well, absolutely. We actually rebranded our studio, and the opportunity for me to have my own studio was given to me, and I was able to just take over and change it to a little bit more of a mind-body experience. And so when you have a studio, you have a space available to give people places to come and work out. Well, we are a little bit different at Dynamic Yoga for Love, because we also offer activities that stimulate the mind. And yoga is one of those things that is not a religious base. Besides, contrary to what popular belief is, especially in the southern area, there is actually no connotation to yoga and religion. So I just want to clear that up for our callers, that you can come to a yoga class and it can be completely physical experience for you. We offer different types of yoga. So some people say, okay, well, I've been to a yoga class and, it's too hard. Or I've been to a yoga class and all I did was sit there. Well, that's because there's probably about 20,000 different types of yoga. So at our studio, we teach what we call vinyasa. And vinyasa is a way to move your body. We utilize music. We have an instructor guiding you and completely moving with you. So it's a 101. It's very basic, but at the same time, if you've been practicing yoga before, you can also achieve a lot higher goals, if you want to move through something more. And at the same time, if you decide your physical practice is really working for you, we have Zumba. We have a few other things too. Now, when you do practice yoga, we also work on breathing. So calming yourself down. And we usually spend a few minutes at the beginning of class just settling down and unwinding from the drive it took to get there. And that's what makes the practice of yoga different than most fitness-type oriented, what you would ask, type classes.
Well, what I find interesting is the machismo big-time sports athletes out there. A lot of them do yoga, and they also do massage, and that's what they credit to their longevity in the sport. We're talking 300-pound guys that are very flexible.
Well, I have a friend that's actually a personal trainer for the Cowboys, and all they do is yoga.
Wow.
So, almost every major athlete that I've either come across or met in person has a yoga class or a yoga instructor. And that is because yoga is going to work your large muscle groups. It's going to heat your body. It's going to detoxify your body. It brings out every single muscle because you work muscles you don't even know you had. And it's all isometric.
That wouldn't be hard for me to do right now.
And the great thing about yoga, too, that sort of separates it from other fitness activities is that the focus that you use and the balance that you use on your mat carries over to your daily life and managing your time and your money. So, just imagine having to master all these challenging poses and focus and hold that balance. Just doing something like that. I kind of have a theory about how the intangible and the tangible sort of interact. And things that you do like that, habits that you create, with your fitness or whatever it might be, carry over into your daily life.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, let me ask you this, Lisa. And again, here I go putting you on the spot. But somebody like myself, because you got me intrigued now. I think I'm still young enough to go out there and be a Dallas Cowboy or something.
Right.
Which, come on, not going to happen. But somebody like myself, I manage 2 branches. I manage the branch in Plano, and then I manage my branch down here in Midlothian.
Got a lot of drive time.
A lot of drive time. So, of course, my back's always hurting.
A lot of time at the desk.
Yeah, absolutely. So, somebody like me, because I know that's the excuse out there with a lot of people. Where do I have the time to do that, number one? And number two, do you offer classes really early in the morning and in the evening? Not to do a selfish plug for you right here, but honestly, that's I don't know if a lot of people like me commute like that, but that's my biggest thing.
It's very common for, especially when people are seated a lot, either in driving position or in front of a computer. The habitual stress pattern is right between the back of the neck and the shoulders. And, your hunching over, you're texting, you're hunching over, you're driving. Oh, and we're all
As I
sitting
sit up now,
You might notice it's getting a little louder because now we have better posture.
Yeah.
So, that's a really good question. That's very, very common. That's a very common lifestyle. You have to go and make your money, and you come back home, and you relax. Well, where's the time for me in between? So creating a little bit of time in the schedule. We offer classes in the morning. We offer classes in the evening. We offer classes in the weekends. So we do have a very available schedule. And also, I'm offering a new service, and I've just started this service a couple months ago. It's called 5 Minutes for Positive Change. And so you can go to 5minutesforpositivechange.com, or you can visit my website, yogaforlove.net. And you can plug in 5 minutes at your computer. I'll post a video, I'll post a blog, I'll post one pose that you can just try. So it's a really great way just to sample something out. Check it out. See if it works for you.
Good.
Make your
It's kind of like
segue
an
in the
appetizer
studio.
before you get into the main course.
Well, and I have a lot of students that have, come to me and then they've moved. They're like, oh, I really miss you. Put something online. So, it's just kind of a little sampler for people to try stuff out.
Well, very, very good. That's nice, Lisa. So this is KBEC's Life and Money Matters, and we've had one caller so far. We really would love to get some more of our listeners to participate in today's show. We are talking about empowering women to take control of not only their financial situations, but their mental and physical well-being as well, and that's why we have Lisa Ware in studio with us from Dynamic Yoga for Love. But Mike's the expert in all of the financial matters, so we'd take any questions, whether they're about finances or about, just physical fitness, diet, any of that. Just give us a call. We'll be able to get you on the air and answer any of your questions. If you can't do that today, though, please email us at info@kbec.com. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but we will have more from Mike and Lisa after this. And coming up, we're going to get to take a special little quiz, so stay tuned for that. This is Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys, Mike Hill and Lisa Ware. This is our Mother's Day special, and the theme for today's show is empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being. And we'd love to get some of our listeners to participate in today's program. Please give us a call at 972-923-1390. And, just to add a special little bonus to get people to call in, Lisa has some gift certificates to hand out. And why don't you tell us what these gift certificates are for, Lisa?
So we'd love to have your interaction in our little question and answer survey. So if anyone calls in the next segment before 1 o'clock, we have a free gift certificate for a Live, Loved, Life Coaching and Energy Work session at my studio, Dynamic Yoga for Love.
All right, and what all does that include?
That includes life coaching. It includes different types of energy healing and work. You could utilize it for a personal goal-setting session, a business consultation session. So whatever you feel, whatever direction you want to move in your life, that's where I work with you on an energetic level as well as a goal-setting level.
All right, very good. Lisa Ware with Dynamic Yoga for Love Fitness Studio, and Mike Hill with Hill & Associates. He's a great financial advisor, and he knows all the interesting facts and figures about...
Not all, but...
Okay, a lot more than we do, exactly, and that's why we have him on today to help guide us women in making our financial choices. And you have a nice little quiz, I understand, for us to check how much we know.
I knew I was going to be in a booth with two women and not Jim and Renee. I said, you know what, let's take advantage of this because we're just going to do our own little study here, just the KBEC study. So the first thing that I asked, this is a true or false quiz. Okay? And I assure you, the ladies have not seen the answers, listeners. I promise you.
And we encourage the listeners to call in, too, if they know the answer to these questions.
Exactly.
Know the answer or just think Mike's off his gourd. Where did he get his research?
Yeah.
This was actually done from a magazine by the name of Kiplinger's and also a Boston College Social Welfare Research Institute, say that 5 times fast, on a study on women. This actually comes from my course.
Okay.
This is one of the quizzes that we do in my course. So if you come to the class, you're going to know all the answers.
So when is your class again?
My class is, thank you, May 17th and also May 24th from 6:30 to 8:30. It's a free class to people that call in, but it's Women in Investing, and it's just 2 hours, and we have...
It's at Navarro.
Yeah, and we have a workbook, and as a matter of fact, at the end of the class, I give a workbook that I've written myself called 10 Proven Strategies to Help Secure Your Financial Future.
And we can just show up?
We can just show up, or you can call the college. We'd like to have people that definitely reserve, because if we're too full, I don't want to have to send people away. But definitely call Navarro College.
All right, so just the easiest way is probably just go to info@kbec.com.
Info@kbec would be the easiest way to try to sign up for that. We'll get somebody that gets a hold of you on the website. Number one, 25, these are all true or false.
Drum roll?
Yes. 25, and this is right in your wheelhouse, Valerie, 25% of women ages 21 to 34 live paycheck to paycheck.
Okay, before we answer this, we need to define paycheck to paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck.
I'm
what does that
talking
mean?
you're eating Roman noodles on Thursday because your paycheck doesn't come in on Friday to go buy groceries. That's paycheck to paycheck.
25%.
25%.
21 to 34.
I think it's higher than that.
I would say it would be a for sure yes.
You think that's true?
I do.
Or it could be false and higher.
Actually, you're right. It's a trick question. The statement is false. Nearly half.
Half?
Yeah, that's what I was
on
thinking.
it.
So you-
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know my own age group.
I'm an Aggie. I got to throw these little classes in here, but you're absolutely right. 50% of women 21 to 34 live paycheck to paycheck, which to me would be excruciatingly.
Oh, yes, that would be. And you know, the thing is, I've actually been in that situation before I was 21. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about that now, but I think a lot of it has to do with paycheck structure. You know, if you get paid one lump sum at the end of the month, it's much easier to budget and manage rather than just getting a weekly paycheck where you're tempted to just go blow it because you're not keeping up with it. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, it can all just be not necessarily how much you make, but when you get paid.
Well, you know, there's Henry Ford actually invented the weekend. A lot of people don't know that. I've read his biography. He said, I got to have people, and he got made fun of from his big wigs that were other car manufacturers, and he said, guys, we're not going to sell a lot of cars if we don't have anybody wanting to buy one on the weekend. They're riding the trains back and forth every single day to come to work 7 days a week. Let's give them a weekend. And he was a genius because what it did is car sales went up 500%.
Well, you know, I just used one of his quotes in my newsletter that I sent out to promote our show, and it's whether you can or whether you can't, you're right.
Love that quote.
Love that quote.
Absolutely. So,
Man.
that was the first one, and you're absolutely right. My answer to that...
She got it right, I got it wrong.
You gotta have a safety fund. We talked about this on the show a million times. Budget first. You have to pay yourself first, 10%. Treat yourself like a bill.
Okay.
The second question, I don't want the answers to be seen here because I got papers all over the place. Widowed women view themselves as not having the same level of financial knowledge and confidence than younger women. So women that have recently lost their spouse view themselves as not having the same level of confidence or financial knowledge as younger women. True or false?
Younger single women or just younger women in
Just
general?
younger women in general. I'm not talking Sex in the City women or just
most women, just to read into this a little bit, most women that are widowed more likely are a little bit older because most people that die are a little older. So I would say yes, that would be true because in that age bracket, the baby boomers and above, most generally, I would say the men were the financial head of the household.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well, I guess I should just take devil's advocate again and
Go false, maybe?
go with false because, okay, well, I think there is a little bit of reasoning here with that. I think probably a lot of older women, now I don't know if the widowed has any significance here, I'm assuming it does, but if not, older women, at least some of them that I've spoken with, seem to think that us young folks don't know how to budget anything, or we don't know how to take a little bit and make it last a long time. You know, we don't know how to stretch a penny or a dollar, I guess, in this day and age.
And I would stress this before I give you the answer because this brings up a great point. It's very scary on a personal level. I've met with many women that have just lost their husband that had no idea, especially that greatest generation, you know, the cleavers, the husband worked, made the paycheck, you know, God bless it, but the greatest generation, but they weren't involved, and he took care of all that. We're fine. I can't tell you how many times I've sat across from widows that had no idea where the money was coming from and how they were going to pay their bills.
It's really true.
So I can't stress enough, when you have a financial advisor or a CPA, especially as you get older, it's inevitable. We're all going to die. Make sure that you meet with you as a couple. And I would also stress, bring your beneficiaries. Bring your oldest son or daughter with you, or the person that's going to take care of things with your husband or wife.
Do you do estate planning?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do classes on that where I make all my clients come in and bring one of the beneficiaries with them, so we can sit there and stress. But anyway, the answer to that is false. A study on financial knowledge showed that 65% of widows gave themselves an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, compared to only 40% of married and 40% of single women that were younger. So Valerie's 2 for 2 here.
Well, I'm just basing it off of,
Is that financial literacy class that you took?
Literacy class. Well, it could be that, but I think also, I just had a conversation with an older woman the other day, and she's still married, but she was sharing that with me. How young
my grandmother
people...
was it. I'm still, she's 89 years old, and I've handled her affairs for over 14 years, but I'm still little Mikey to her, 39 years. Anyway, but, okay, the next one. Now, I've got 3 questions left, callers, and Lisa was gracious enough to offer these gift certificates. I do want to put a caller on the spot. If a caller calls in, they're going to get a gift certificate no matter what, but I'd like to see what their thoughts are on these next 3 questions. So if you don't answer this one, be not close to a phone. That number is 972-938-1390.
That's right. You can give us a call right here at 972-938-1390 or 972-923-1390. And, of course, you can email us at info@kbec.com. This is the KBEC's Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys, Mike Hill and Lisa Ware. And Mike Hill is with Hill & Associates, so he does all the financial advising. And Lisa is with Dynamic for Love Yoga Fitness Studio. And, we're just having a great time talking about women, and we're taking our Facts of Matter quiz. So we want you to call in and participate in that and possibly win some gift certificates.
This time I'm going to let Valerie go first so you can play devil's advocate.
Right.
Okay, so most women, this is question number 3, most women will receive 1 inheritance in the next 20 to 30 years. True or false?
1 inheritance in the next 20 or 30 years. Most women, I'm going to go with false on that one as well.
What's your reasoning for that?
Well, actually, no. I'm going to go true now that I think about that.
Okay.
You know why? Because I think probably women inherit more than men do.
Oh, yeah. You got guys like me that are going to
think about it
this afternoon, and you got Lisa telling us how healthy our snacks need to be over the summer.
Exactly. So, you could think maybe women perhaps inherit more than men do because they're usually taken care of by family members.
They actually go to yoga classes more than maybe the men do,
In this country, I'd say, 70% are women. We have about 30% men.
Okay, good.
So, you won't be the only dude, guys, if you show up to yoga.
But she was false. I guess that's your changed answer or is it true?
True.
What was your answer?
I would say true.
True. Okay. Actually, another trick question from Mike Hill. Both of you are false. This was very interesting.
I'm not doing too great.
The statement that most women will receive 1 inheritance in the next 20 to 30 years is false. Most women will receive, quote unquote, 2 inheritances.
Oh, okay. Another trick question.
And then 1 from their parents. I.e., that's why 65% of the wealth.
My husband. I was thinking yes for sure from the
parents.
Yeah,
he's not trying to inherit.
So that's why
you don't think about your husband dying, but most women do outlive the men.
Absolutely. So most women in the next 20 to 30 years.
Will do too.
Well, and that's what kills me. I go to all these seminars.
Makes sense.
And you go to these seminars, and they're all marketing to men in the financial. I'm just speaking, raising the curtain a little bit. They're all talking about marketing to men and the baby boomer men. I'm telling you, in my opinion, we're missing the boat because women are going to control all the money anyway.
And actually, that's a really good segue to mention, too, that's my favorite type of clientele. Most of my women that have been with me in my yoga practice for 4 years or more are in that age bracket of the baby boomers.
Really?
Yes, because A, you have a little bit more leisure time. B, you have a little bit of money put away, so you're not so stressed out about paying your bills. Maybe you can come to yoga. And when people make a decision, when you're between 40 and 65, it's something that you really thought about. It's not just a spontaneous decision.
Absolutely.
So, if you're in that age bracket and you're listening, I encourage you to come in and just try out a class. And we actually have free classes, 4 free classes every week in May. So you can check out our free classes.
Okay, you're going to try it. If you don't try it now, come on now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get us to question 4 because I know we've only got 4 or 5 minutes left before we have to say la vie, and I want to sit here and get this out. This is very big in my household because I have a 6- and 9-year-old daughter. Within a year after having a child, most mothers do not return to work, and those that do have jobs with fewer hours and lower pay. True or false?
I'm going to go with true on that one.
True. You're going to see a trend here that is false. 83% of mothers return to work to the same employer within a year of having a child. 7 in 10 of these women return to the positions with the same pay, skill level, and hours worked per week. One reason for this is that more women, and I believe this because I got 2 sisters and one waited till she was 30 to get married, more and more women are waiting to have children after getting their career set.
So then they depend on the second
Very
time.
big different trend from the baby boomers.
Well, and also, there's probably employers who are starting to tailor to more women in these higher positions,
Absolutely.
these service positions, and they're saying, okay, we understand you're going to have a child and everything, but some places offer daycare services, for instance, if, both parents in the home work. A lot of huge companies are doing that now.
They know the value of that. I mean, that was what was interesting. More than a third of first-time mothers in the United States are over 30 years old.
Wow.
That was huge to me.
Yeah.
My mom had all 3 of us before she was even 30, so that's a big difference. Last but not least, this will go with Valerie's college comment. Women save for retirement first and their children's college second.
I would say yes, just because that's what we've done. But financial things, it seems like it's like this scary secret. You just don't talk about it with people. So I would be interested to
know what
hear
that is.
Answer, yeah.
What would you say? You said?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Based on
Retirement first and children's college second.
I'm going to go with yes on that, too.
Well, it looks like, ladies, y'all are definitely a good proponent of coming to the class on May 17th.
Okay,
Because, again, that one is false.
All right.
Get one right. I'll give you kudos on that.
The statement that women save for retirement first and their children's college second is false. More women are put saving for children's college ahead of saving for retirement.
Well,
I was thinking that, too, for the nurturing effects, but then I thought sometimes take care of yourself before, you take care of others. So you can be able to do that.
I'd like to mention that, when that is a good point, when people decide to come to yoga, they don't give the time to themselves. They'll pay $100, $200 a month and dance and say it's softball, but they won't come and spend $12 on themselves to drop in for a class.
Absolutely. And I wanted to mention our classes again. I'm holding a workshop called Women in Investing May 17th and May 24th at Navarre College in Waxahachie from 6:30 to 8:30. Renee is holding a success class on May 17th from 6:30 to 8:30 at Navarre College. Call the college to register in the Continuing Education Department or just email info@kdec.com. Lisa has mentioned a bunch of classes that she's doing.
We have 4 free classes that I'd just like to mention to you. We have Mondays at 5:45 p.m., all free. Thursdays at 6:45 p.m., Saturdays at 7 a.m., and Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. And these are all classes we're offering for our community, donation-based.
And they can get information on the time and place.
Just go to our website, yogaforlove.net. We actually have a special page listing all those free classes, or you can email the station at info@kdec.com.
All right, very good. And, Mike, you have another little announcement?
There's a real good friend, and actually Lisa knows this gentleman well as well. Kyle Humphrey. And his wife is fighting type 1 diabetes, Carrie, a mother of 2, and they are holding a barbecue plate dinner this week, next weekend, Saturday, May 19th. I can't pronounce it.
Getzendaner Park.
Thank you, Getzendaner Park, from 11 to 2 p.m. What they're trying to do, and it's also going to benefit another young child, they're trying to get 2 dogs, these are diabetes dogs, that they can sense when blood sugar is raised in their owner. It's amazing dogs, but as you can imagine, they're very, very expensive.
So what do you get to eat?
It's a barbecue. There's going to be donation. It's a $7 minimum, but we're trying to raise a lot of money for these 2 families.
And they can get their dogs.
Barbecue sandwich. I'm going to leave a flyer up here at the station. Email. You can reach Kyle. This is a different number at 214-796-9337, but nothing else, just show up at
Getzendaner Park.
May
19th, 11 to 2.
Next Saturday from 11 to 2.
All right, and you just heard the KBEC's Life and Money Matters with the Success Guys, Mike Hill and Lisa Ware. This was our Mother's Day special, the theme for today's program. Yes, we had a great time. Yes, thank you both for coming on today, and we got to talk about empowering women to take control of their financial, mental, and physical well-being. If any of you have questions about today's segment or anything we talked about, please call us at 972-923-1390, or you may email those questions to info@kbec.com, and we will be sure to forward those on to Lisa or Mike as it pertains to, fitness or financial matters. And we're going to have more of Saturday's All Request Hour coming up on 1390 KBEC, but first let's go ahead and join TSN News in Progress.